everybody. This next pattern is another classic American streamer. It's from the Cains River streamer collection. This one's called the Cains River Black Demon. It's not too difficult to tie and actually fishes really well. So I'll put the recipe in the description and explain the materials as I go. First off, got a number 6 streamer hook in here. It's 3x long. You could easily step this up a size or down a size and go 3x to 6x long. Now I'm going to start off with some black 8/0 thread, UTC. Lay a base down about to the start of the bend, maybe the barb, before we tie in the tail. The tail of this guy is barred wood duck. Just a few fibers. You've all seen these things here. So just take your bodkin and pull out maybe four of these right here. That should be fine right there. Now you could, depending on what type of wing you want, if you want it to slightly bend up or bend down. I want the angle to go down a little bit because we have a pretty big wing on this thing. And I like both of the black bars to be showing. So catch that in right there, maybe a couple wraps, check your position. Are you centered on the top? Pretty much. So I will keep the rest of these fibers in here. Just I'm not trying to build up a bulky base, but we do put a little bit of head cement on it to hold the tinsel body in. So that just gives it a little more, porous surface to catch on. So the body is some medium size, I think this is 14, gold silver tinsel. Tie it with the gold side up, so when you flip it and spin it, you'll be showing the silver. So bring this back to the start of your tail, a little further here. One more. Okay, I like that. Now I'll bring this back up to the front, put a couple of half hitches in, because I'm going to park this thread and spin this body with the rotary. So next up is just a little bit of head cement, just a small bead. We'll smooth that out here in just a second. Get it wrapped around it. That'll help this metallic tinsel body stay on. So this part isn't too tricky. Just get the first wrap is really the only tricky one. Just try and get to cover that black thread. Now you can wrap this pretty quick. You want slightly overlapping wraps. If you get off a little bit and have a little black showing, you can either back it up and try again or just not worry about it. I typically do the latter. It's just a fish and fly. I don't think the fish care. So you'll take the body up about an eye length, maybe an eye length and a half behind. Up here. Let's go one more here. So keep your tension on this. If you let go of the tinsel, it will unravel on you. Even with that glue there, that glue will take a little while to cure. So a couple wraps behind should suffice. One more in front and then another one behind before we trim this off. And then we'll bury that little sticky in here, that little tip. So we should be pretty well secured right now. Now the next piece of it is just some black saddle hackle. Probably the most time consuming part of this fly is picking 2 feathers that have the same bend, same fullness on them. So I think you want it a little bit past the wood bar duck tail. Now I think that's about what I want right there. So the next thing you want to do is swap hands, pinch it tight with your left hand, pull all these out. It'll just make it if you don't have this, you'll be tying a bunch of stuff. It'll make your head a little harder to tie. So try to even these out right here. Let's see. You got a couple there that need to come out. That's probably fine. Any of these left I can bury in the next hackle wrap. So hang your thread about where you want to tie them in. I'm going to bring this back just a little bit because we do have a throat hackle and some eyes we're going to put on it. So, okay. I think that's about what we want right there. Let's try to get that caught in. A loose wrap and medium wrap before we put anything too tight, and then take a look and see, are you centered? I think I'm pretty well centered on this one, so I like where those lay right there. Now go ahead and secure these down pretty good before you cut the butt ends off. Okay, now the next piece is the cheeks, jungle cock eyes. Again, not too tricky, but you do want to take your time on this. I like them to be pretty far back, both the yellow and the white nails showing on this thing, and angled up a little bit. So lay that flat, put a couple wraps around, and check your position because they'll spin on you if you're not careful. So I like that. Could be laying a little bit lower, but I kind of like it up high. Now do the same thing on this side. Check your lengths. Loose to medium wraps right here. And check your position. Okay, that looks fine right there. Now a couple of tight wraps to secure this. Again, they'll spin on you if you're not careful. So now we can trim these butt ends off right now. Only one more piece to go is the orange saddle hackle. So grab a full feather if you got it of orange. I'm sure you could use red, but this is what's called for in the original pattern. So just try to pull these out to where you're perpendicular here. And then get your catch-in point right here. Make sure I don't push these too far down. Looks like I'm moving them a little bit. I'll fold this back on itself for a couple of wraps before I snip this piece off, or when you start wrapping it, it might pull out on you. So bring this back to the front and then just wrap this like you would, like you do any hackle here. Just kind of try to preen these back without them catching under. You're gonna trap a few as you wrap it. That's okay. We'll pull them out or bend them back when we finish off the head. Now I like a fairly bushy head, so I'm going to put about at least 4 wraps on this. I don't know how many that is. That's 3 maybe. Let's see. So try to work that through right there. A couple of turns. It looks pretty bushy right now, but it'll clean up nicely here in just a second. So go ahead and One more lock and wrap. We got some loose feathers there, loose fibers. So just like any hackle, trying to bend it back, pinch it down before you start wrapping ahead. And then we can clean this up. Take a look at that right there. I could have probably gone a little bit thicker on this orange up here, but I think that's going to look just fine. Got a little bit right here. Can I get that off with some scissors? A little bit. You'll just bury it. It is a streamer. Don't be afraid to build a big head on this thing. Almost done. Just 4 or 5 turn whip finish. And some head cement or UV resin. And we'll call it ready to go. So I've been using this quick dry UV resin here lately. I think this stuff works pretty well. You might want to put it on with your bodkin so you don't get too big a clump. Got a little stray piece of thread right there from my whip finish that I didn't trim very well. I could go in and cut that, or I can ignore it, which again, that's usually what I do. So put your UV light on it, 10 or 15 seconds. Head will harden up nicely. And there you have it, classic American streamer from the Cains River series, the Cains River Black Demon. Not too difficult to tie and fun one to fish. Does pretty well for me here on the East Coast. That's all. Hope you liked it. Thanks for watching.